Well, what do we have here? A lonely little lamb that strayed too far from the flock. Oh, don't you worry, little one. It will all be over soon. Alright, it's a meme video. Well, good evening. Ladies, Lazos, and Lazos, welcome to the click. You smell amazing today, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise, especially you. Mark?
Oh, you mean me? That is so nice, Mark, that I smell nice.
Yes, indeed, Mark. You smell very nice, and you too, Mark, watching this. This is a nice little trio, isn't it? A nice. Anyway, so this is getting really weird. So today, we're gonna look at r/ConfidentlyIncorrect, which is one of my favorite subreddits because I get to feel smart when I scroll through this. And then sometimes I make mistakes myself, and the comment section goes wild and be like, click! 2 + 2 is not 5! And I'm like, too bad. Enjoy.
Oh my god, I was so close. Last time I only had 3 numbers correct. I give up. I feel like God is saying soon. I'm gonna keep trying.
Oh, let's see, it's a lottery. So the winning was 10 and 11, 33, 40, 41, 48, 47, 49, 50, 10, 18. A couple of numbers off. Not a single number was correct. What are you talking about? It's not even close.
You know, if it's within 10 of the winning numbers, that means it's really close.
I'm gonna increase the light a bit. Let's see, should I increase these ones? Ooh, look at that face. Wow. Let's hide that a little bit. Maybe I'll just do that when I get old. When I start getting like serious wrinkliness, I'll just turn down the lights a lot. Nice. Gambling is a very slippery slope. It's very easy to get into the sunk cost fallacy when you feel like you've already spent a bunch of money, so therefore you need to keep spending because eventually you will win, right? Well, the truth is that lotteries typically don't make people rich, and even if you do win, there is like a scary track record of people who do win that either get harassed, they lose all the money, their life gets flipped upside down, they have jealous family. It's like, even if you win, it can still be a bad thing. Don't gamble. Unless you're like doing it in moderation or just doing it for fun, because it might not even be fun even if you win.
Sorry, physics nerd here to correct. Friction exists, you don't generate it. You generate heat using friction.
No, friction is a force. You generate it. If you want to learn more, read this.
Too many syllables for me, bro. I ain't smart like you.
Wait a second. You went from self-certified internet genius to I am not reading that. It's too long. Oh, man, you can't have both. Come on now. Generate friction. I'm not sure about the terminology, you know, in English. I always studied this stuff in Swedish, but, you know, yeah, one is a force and like the heat is generated from the friction. So I don't know about the terminology. Maybe that's not the main point of this post anyway. Who cares?
One guy's business plan for 44 billion over leverage purchase is apparently to run around and individually ask people for $8. Remember that next time you question yourself or your qualifications.
If only 1 million users subscribe, 1 out of 395 million total users. That's nearly 1 billion per year in new recurring revenue for a company that has never made a real profit in its entire existence. But I know math is hard. Math is indeed very difficult. Apparently too difficult for you to even get it right. How does that multiplication work? 1 million users pay $8 per year. That's 8 million. Right there. How did you get that to 1 billion? Where did the numbers even come from? I am severely flabbergasted and very entertained. I have made a huge mistake. In fact, it is an huge mistake, even though mistake starts with an M. You also missed a full stop to end the sentence. There's an argument that have is an unnecessary, so it would be I made an huge mistake. But then we're getting into the weeds with tenses. On today's episode of people correcting other people incorrectly. Why would you... I swear to God, if you're gonna be a grammar Nazi, at least, like, get your grammar right. Oh my God.
Older literature. Define good and evil. Morally instructive and framed within transcendent, evident virtues. Modern media, wouldn't it be clever if everyone was awful and the world was grey and immoral?
Someone has never read the Odyssey or any other Greek literature, which I assure you is very old. Achilles, the Greek hero, dragged around Hector of Troy's body from the back of a chariot after killing him. Even his fellow Greeks and their god took pity and begged him to stop. When he refused to stop brutalizing Hector's body, the gods used their power to preserve Hector's body to prevent damage and decay. Then Achilles lost interest. Reminder that Hector was defending his home against an attacking army. Yeah, I don't know what this post is trying to prove. It's like, oh my god, the world is dark. No, what? Of course it is! I actually really like that about Game of Thrones, that it doesn't try to like sugarcoat it, you know, in a way. It's like if the world really is like a cutthroat medieval setting without like proper ruling in certain areas, there is gonna be a lot of that stuff, you know. Humans have dark sides and sometimes they do come out in questionable ways. I haven't flossed or brushed since March this year. Not perfectly straight, obviously, because I didn't know this at age 7. And yes, they are slightly inflamed. My body is getting rid of brain toxins and old fillings. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't brush your teeth so then your brain gets sucked out of toxins? It's not even the same body part though, what? A natural, healthy process. Entire dentistry industry is a sham. Look at this beautiful mouth and its inflamed stuff that's like getting rid of toxins apparently. Wouldn't brushing your teeth move the brain toxins out of your mouth? This doesn't even make sense with the fake rules. Yeah, if your mouth really sucks out brain toxins, wouldn't it be good to wash it out? It's like, oh, here's the sewer system. Like that makes sense, right? What? It doesn't even add up. One thing I've learned about this kind of stuff when it comes to these cures and things, if you can't define what the toxins are, it's most likely BS. It's like saying something vague. It's basically the bad vibes of like chemicals. It's like, oh, the bad vibe chemicals in your brain. What are the bad vibe chemicals? Nobody know, but detox them by not brushing your teeth. Recently overheard a couple on a date talking about their favorite movies. The guy confidently said he loved Ratatouille. She responded she has never seen it. He went on to describe it. A rat-controlled chef makes great food. Ratatouille, she asked. It's actually pronounced ratatouille because it's Le French. They say the word out loud in the movie several times. How is it possible to come away from that movie not knowing the pronunciation? It's like if you messed up Darth Vader's pronunciation. Oh, it's actually Darth Vader. But they say it in the movie. No, I speak of the French.
Women aren't even supposed to have menstrual cycles. This is your womb cleaning itself monthly from all the acidic foods, neurotoxin, and radiation we endure on a daily basis. Alkaline vegans and fruitarians barely ever menstruate.
Source? Out of my butt.
For all y'all white recessive females in my DMs that contain Neanderthal...
If you're gonna call somebody Neanderthal, you can at least spell it right.
Neanderthal DNA. I cannot speak for your beings, but my ancient African ancestors did not menstruate.
What?
This is something that did not occur until recently due to the amount of acidic toxins we breathe and consume in every day.
But like literally animals have periods too. Like I literally used to have a female dog in my household. We needed to buy like monthly little diaper things for it because otherwise, you know, it would end up on the floor. This is a natural, very natural thing that is not only exclusive to humans. What are you on about? I'm pretty sure your ancestors had periods. Please.
So I got into an argument recently with someone about COVID vaccines. I explained to them that there's definitely a correlation between COVID vaccines and cardiac arrest in middle-aged men. It's been proven. They responded with one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my lifetime. They said correlation does not mean cause, and that there is more ice cream sold when more murders occur.
Yeah, that's actually true. We got the ice cream with burglary or like muggery, but still similar thing, I suppose.
That is the dumbest comparison I've ever heard in my entire lifetime, and I feel so much stupider just for being a witness to that comparison. Murders and ice cream have absolutely nothing to do with COVID vaccines and heart problems.
No, but you see, it's just a related example that correlation does not necessarily imply causation. For example, the ice cream thing, if I remember correctly, the explanation is that you consume more ice cream when you're traveling for vacation, but you're also more likely to get mugged or pickpocketed when you're traveling. So therefore, if you draw a curve about like how much ice cream do you eat versus how many times have you gotten robbed, they are gonna correlate, even though, you know, the causating factor is just like travel and being in different places. basically. So that's the lesson. It's a different factor that actually causes it. Of course, another aspect that I always see being spread around regarding statistics is like very weirdly manipulative, nitpicked stats that are like comparing the wrong things. For example, I remember in the anti-vax scene, there was a number being tossed around a little while ago from the UK, I think, that people who were vaccinated were more likely to have health issues after COVID. I think that's what it was. But of course, what the study botched, or this number that they weren't transparent with, was of course that the people who were vaccinated the most were in risk groups. So of course, if you like compare a 75-year-old who got COVID with a 25-year-old that also got COVID and the 75-year-old is vaccinated, it's still kind of likely that, the old person in a risk group is still going to have a worse time than the young, healthy, fit person. So, you need to compare the same group in that case if you want to make that argument. So there are plenty of these examples out there that get circulated in these weird circles taken completely out of context, but they haven't actually done an honest analysis. Or they take a number that's only very narrow and specific and they say that it explains this whole wide phenomenon when it really doesn't. Statistics is hard, and it is an entire body in academia for a reason. Puns! The Indian restaurant I work for is so secretive I had to sign a legal agreement that I wouldn't share the flatbread recipe. Just their standard non-disclosure agreement. Oh, I'm loving this video already.
Google it. You spelled non-disclosure wrong, by the way. Oh, yes, indeed. No jokes go over my head. I would catch them.
When you have the humor receptors of a boiled potato, and that's insulting to boiled potatoes. Did the TVs back then need an upgrade to show color, or were the TVs able to produce color even though they would only be showing black and white?
Hurts my brain to have to say this, but all TV, no matter how old, all have red, blue, and green pixels.
You are incorrect. I'm pretty sure there used to be black and white TVs. I'm not quite that old myself, at least not yet. Maybe that's how it works. But yeah, no. Let's see the comment section blow up. I'm already looking forward to this.
This is why you always wash it.
I wash mine for the microscopic bugs, etc., that you can only see after about 2 washings. Then I do one more. If you knew what people did in the fields where it grows, you would wash it. A dear Asian lady told me what she saw firsthand. I am grateful.
Rice is made from flour just like noodles are. It doesn't grow from anywhere.
Corn is not real. Corn is made from corn flour. It's not real.
Everything you eat is grown in That's so true though. It's such, basically. Ah, it's so beautiful.
Glorious processed poo, how delicious thou art. Oh, scrumptious.
Sweet tea grown in poo. Musky Husky. Twitter had a massive drop in revenue due to activist groups pressuring advertisers. Even though nothing has changed with content moderation and we did everything we could to appease the activists. Extremely messed up. They're trying to destroy free speech in America. I always find it weird how internet is so Americanized. It's not everyone on Twitter is Merca. I mean, I guess the companies, but still. Man, it's very interesting to watch what's happening on Twitter. Honestly, I'm not too bummed about it one way or another. If Twitter blows up, at least we'll be free, man. At least we'll be free. We'll finally be free from that cesspool. You can't get dragged into the swamp if the swamp blows up.
For those that refuse to do research and just like to read shite they see on Facebook.
I'm guessing we're gonna get into some Facebook science in this post as well.
Pfizer data shows that for every 1 life saved, 5 are killed by the vaccine.
That sounds, wow.
VAERS data, unreported by 90%, shows for every 1 life saved, 2 die from the vaccine. Nursing home shows 1 in 6. You have a higher chance that a vaccine will kill you than it will protect you from the virus.
Lol, I am sorry, but this is implying that something like 800 million people would have died from the vaccine. I could be wrong, but I think that would be noticeable. Yeah, if 10% of the world population would just have randomly spontaneously died. Yeah, I think that would probably have been quite noticeable, to be fair.
I learned about shaking water before drinking is good. Why? Because through shaking, the molecules of water break and can be easily absorbed by the cells of our body.
The molecule... What?
In this way, the cell can retain or hold the water longer. In this way, we avoid frequent going to comfort room to pee. I also tried myself and I proved it right. I can drink 1 to 2 glasses of water every hour without urinating often. I experienced before just about 5 to 10 minutes after drinking water, I feel my gallbladder is already full, thus the sign of the liquid not being absorbed by the cell of my body. Just shake the water 20 times depending on the volume. Otherwise, the molecules are too big and your body can't drink it and it just becomes pee.
Where do people like figure this stuff out? You're literally claiming that you're breaking water in half, basically. It's what? And also a follow-up question: when does the water glue back together? Because I'm pretty sure that most water has been shaketh at some point, during transportation or in the purifier when it turns into rain and splatters down on the earth again. When does the particles glue back together so the molecules are too big to drink? When there's so many questions to this, and I don't think there are any answers. Dogs can't get colon cancer. Dogs don't poop. Got it. Well, they can, but they don't have colons. Wouldn't it be nice, though, if dogs actually didn't poo? Man, that would be so amazing that it's just gas escaping. Maybe that would be worse. Dog farts smell horrible. Elon Musk has more gender-affirming surgeries than most trans people. I'm not trying to upset the fanboys, just simply exercising my freedom of speech. So glad that I can state my opinion without having to worry about triggered snowflakes.
Gender affirming means changing your gender. You made those rules.
Gender affirming. The word affirming is key here. It's very muy importante. And the post has a pretty funny point, to be honest, indeed.
Xbox Series S only plays digital games, so it's an L.
Lol, it's 2022, bro. Digital is the future. What do you want? Cartridges?
Digital won't work when power goes out, so disc games are better.
When power goes out. Neither will the whole Xbox, you moron. Oh my god, I had a story so similar to this, it reminds me of. I had a friend back in the day who used to work in tech support. Like they would sit on the service desk and people would call in with computer issues and they would reply and that kind of stuff. It was quite a few years ago, so it was, I think the person calling had a desktop computer. So this individual calls, I think it was an old lady who was like,
hello there dear support, my computer is not starting.
And my friend is like, okay, let's see now, have you tried pressing the on button? I say, yes. Have you tried holding it in to resetting the computer?
Yes, I tried that too.
And then, they went through all the cables in the back. Is it plugged in? Yada, yada, all that stuff. Do you see any lights? And none of that stuff. So my friend is like, what the heck could it be then? He's like, okay, can you open it up? And I'm like,
sure, I can open it up.
And they took off the lid on the side of the desktop box and she looked inside. And he said, okay, I needed to check if the cable for the power supply is properly attached. Can you check that for me? And she said,
I would love to check it, but it's a bit too dark. I can't really see.
And he said, oh, can you turn on the lights? And she said,
no, I can't. There's a power outage.
It took like 20 minutes of error search to figure out why the computer isn't working. To just figure out there is no electricity at all. This is why any support person always tells you that, have you tried this starting it? Because like 90% of people aren't particularly good with computers.
Amen. If you couldn't birth a child the way God intended, then you failed miserably. If and when I ever have children, I'll make sure to not fail them during the birthing. If you had a C-section, you didn't give birth. You had surgery. You're not a real mom.
Imagine what kind of pathetic excuse for a carbon lump you have to be to try to gatekeep motherhood. Oh, gee, you had like a life-saving, incision thing during childbirth, literally, because, we can do that now. We don't have to rely on caveman ooga booga technology anymore. That's not a real childbirth, and you failed God for not dying? Lady, what kind of... I don't know what you think religion is, but this is definitely not it. It never ceases to amaze me that there are still so many biblical authority dudes out here preaching and writing entire books about how manly Jesus is. Oh, yes, Daddy Jesus. And how the church only hope is strong men. Where is the biblical support for this idea?
He would never have survived the crucifixion process as a weak, frail, emotional man. You're making a lame argument about strength here.
I just get reminded about that post that's something like, how did Jesus get so ripped? Oh, it's CrossFit. And you see a super buff Jesus just tearing the cross to pieces. That's the picture that is in my brain right now. And I like it. Why did you say Taipei? It's called Taiwan. Taipei is the capital of Taiwan. Why did you say this more specific place when there is this place? No reason.
Please don't use the X when saying Christmas. X should never ever replace Christ.
The X in Christmas literally means Christ. You might want to educate yourself on this before trying to make others feel badly, especially in a post about pajamas. Thank you. I was going to say exactly that. Xmas has been used since the 16th century, and the X representing Christ dates from the 4th century, still regularly appearing on symbols of the papacy? Papacy? Oh, that is beautiful. I learned something today. God damn. And they say click videos aren't educational.
Medically speaking, the woman butt external sphincter is 1.5 millimeters smaller than males. Physically, a woman's butt is tighter, softer, and more elastic than males. The ratio of naughty nerves ending is also high compared to males.
Naughty nerves. Alright.
The nature of woman's naughtyality is normally receptive, and thus ladies enjoy the butt stuff more than men. The soft and elastic butt along with receptive naughty stuff makes the butt stuff less painful for women as compared to men.
Wait, why is this posted on LinkedIn? Former support executive at... Why is this on LinkedIn? That makes it like 3 times as weird. This is not just a random anonymous rant on like some forum online. This is literally like a professional person on their professional page being professional and talking about like people's butts. This is amazing. It's just bad women's anatomy and like crappy LinkedIn in one. We check so many boxes. Bingo, here I come. Elon is from South Africa.
That is a continent, not a country. That's like saying you're from East Canada.
Oh, my Twitter. Okay.
Frick Christopher Columbus.
They were refugees looking for a better life. Bringing diversity and inclusion. Don't be a bigot.
I don't think that was the main driving factor, I'm gonna be honest. It's not my area of the expertise, but I'm pretty sure this is a bunch of baloney.
Why would any guy not want to marry a naughty star?
Women release oxytocin during the naughties. Oxytocin runs out. Each time a woman has naughties with a new partner, her stores run lower, and she is less able to pair bond with someone. The better the naughties, the more she will be chemically ruined for the next man. After 10 to 15, it's pretty much over. I teach men how to effectively imprint on a woman for this reason.
Imprint? It sounds like you're breeding ducklings. What?
The more you can imprint.
That word sounds weird in this context.
The less likely she'll be able to connect with the next person, and women indiscriminately understand this. That's why the better is men can dish it out, the less likely she is to leave.
I mean, that last sentence sort of has a point. I mean, sure, depending on who you are as a person, of course, but for the majority of relationships, if intimate activities is good, that is a plus for the relationship. I don't think that's particularly alien to anyone, but the rest of the stuff is just completely out there. Come on now, man.
Meaning of the word sir. You call everybody by title sir. You know what it means by the word sir? Slave, I remain. Sir. The British during their rule wanted all Indians to address them as sir, even after 69 years of independence.
69.
We still keep calling everyone sir. Even American president is addressed Mr. President, not sir. Many people do not know the real meaning of the word and think it's an address with respect. Frankly, even I also didn't know it. Spread this message fast, how intelligently they ruled and how foolish we were still going on their ways. Stop calling someone sir.
No.
Metric system ain't get you to the moon though, did it? Yeah, America, freedom units!
Well, Apollo source code has been released, and guess what? It's meters. Yeah, look at that. Good old meters. Gosh darn. I mean, I think most scientific bodies use the metric system because it's easier. It's just like a bunch of tens. It's so easy. It's like 1, 10, 100, 1,000. Super easy.
In the past 100 years, gay and lesbianism was a weird concept, but now it's normality, and if care is not taken in the next 100 years, the big bad P and doing bad stuff to children will be considered a normality too, and that's just a fact, because I pulled it out of my butt. It is full of nice little stinky facts. Just as now in some countries it's normal and legal for parents to marry their kids and brothers and marrying their sis, in the past years it was considered barbaric, and this is just the effect of free will and lawlessness.
But how How is this like a logical line of thinking? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's not where it's going. I'm just gonna be honest. If anything, that kind of stuff has gotten much better over the years, like child protective laws and stuff, you know? That used to be abhorrent if you look back into history, you know? Just like 100 years ago, we literally had child coal miners. I don't think it's heading in that direction. At least I'm hoping so.
Okay, kids, I love seeing your couple pics, but for the love of the tiny savior, you're killing me and my grammar Nazi brain cells. It is not my husband and I, it is me and my husband. If you take out that my husband, does it sound right to hear this is I? No. Thank you for listening. This is your after school special on ABC. Carry on. Corky and Marius.
Imagine being this wrong and this smug about it. I mean, to be fair, I usually say like me and my husband, you know, that's the way my brain thinks is like the most likely. I know, you know, my husband and I is the correct one, but the other one like makes more sense in casual speak, and also probably because I'm a foreigner. But still, you know, it's but why would you go on this rant on Facebook, please now? Facebook is bad enough as it is. Humans are not mammals. Email from a 5th grade science teacher.
Humans are not mammals. The science textbooks tell us that we have the exact characteristics of a placental mammal. There is no arguing about that. But as believers and followers of Christ, we have to rely on his word and tell us who we are. Here's a bunch of quotes from good old Bookie. Humans and animals were both formed from the dust of the ground, blah blah, and hence not. I'm not gonna read all this. I already have a headache from this, and it's just a big pile of schlubenschnarben.
Yeah, liters of blood donated.
If someone donated 1 liter a week, it will take them over 96 years to donate 5,000 liters.
I generally do 4 liters at a time, not just 1. But even then, it's once or twice a month, a lot. 4 liters. They literally drain themselves like a raisin. You know, when you have like a dish rag and you do this kind of thing, so it gets dry. That's basically what they do to this guy. Multiple times a month. And somehow he survives. Great. Some stuff about NASCAR. And what rule would that be? I'm serious. Please scroll through the NASCAR rules package and show your work. That's that's not how debate works. Facepalm. I made a claim and you say I'm wrong. It's then on you to find evidence and prove me wrong. My claim is considered valid and correct until you properly refute it. Can you imagine if this is actually how it worked? If I could just spam out, you know, if I had an opposing arguing side, I could just spam out BS, because I don't have to do any groundwork to make random claims, but they have to spend a lot of time trying to find something that refutes my garbage claim. So I can just spam it, you know? I can just make up stuff every 5 seconds, like, oh, this is the moon is made of cheese, it's also flat, and the sun is made of poo. And, you know, they will have to try to refute this with actual fact faster and faster and faster, but it'll never catch up. Oh my god, what a horrible system. It must be milk. Those are lady cows. See the udders? They don't got a pee-pee.
Oh, they have horns indicating they are male cows and shouldn't have udders.
Many breeds have horns in both males and females. It's just that they are often removed when they are young, in both males and females. Plus, these ones have udders, so they are definitely female. The internet finds a way to argue about literally everything, and I am so thankful for the great source of content.
Pervert cancer. Wait, is it supposed to say prevent? Pervert cancer, no dogs in house cancer, dogs get 10 times more cans than you and me. I must say the pervert cancer is probably my favorite term in this video so far.
Drake makes music for people who follow billionaire mindset accounts on here.
You tweeted this at 5 in the morning. He certainly has a hold over you.
I am in the UK.
5 a.m. is 5 a.m. Don't embarrass yourself any further. He still lives rent-free in your mind. Got him. All I had to do to win this argument was claim that time zones don't exist. Oh, my brain is so wrinkly and voluptuous.
PAs are intellectual heroes of healthcare. It's heroes, and you're wrong. Heroes, Google it. Think you need to Google it, bro. I see that so many times. Oh, it's amazing. I do that sometimes when I record these videos. Before I like comment on the post, I'm like, wait. This is gaslighting me. Hold on, let me Google. And I just double check it just to make sure. It's a good thing, you know, when you're not replying in live time, take your time. It's fine. Take an extra 10 seconds to double check your word or whatever it is. It's a good idea. UN women. Of all journalists killed in 2021, 11% were women. In 2020, this was 6%. On the International Day to hashtag end impunity for crimes against journalists. Let us say out loud, stop targeting women journalists. But aren't 90% men though? But the fair thing here as well is, killing journalists. I'm imagining that happens. This is just me spitballing. I haven't actually read into this subject, so this is my hypothesis, okay? Big disclaimer. I'm assuming this takes into account, for example, people that report on wars, wartime journalists and that kind of stuff, which I think are predominantly men, and they're also the most dangerous because they're on the front line. So I think depending on which demographic of journalists you're looking at, this data can be interpreted in many different ways. So there is a lot of information missing in this headline, so I wouldn't take anything about it too seriously, but I just found it a bit weird.
Someone's net worth is not what they have, it's how much they have made in their lifetime. Like LeBron just became a billionaire. He doesn't have $1 billion, but all the money he has made in his career, if he didn't spend 1 penny, would have been $1 billion.
That is not true. I find this amazing. If you want to be a billionaire, just get like anything, I can just sell this cup of tea to you, and then you sell it back to me. If we just do that a bunch of times, we'll both be billionaires net worth-wise. Isn't that beautiful?
What is the scariest ingredient in vaccines in your opinion? For me, it's human DNA from the opposite sex. I can't imagine injecting female DNA into my boys.
Makes you wonder if this might add to the craziness of transgender people.
Yep.
Yeah, there's been studies on this.
There have been studies? Really?
Makes sense if you put the DNA of the opposite bodies into a baby. That pretty well screws something up. For every action, there's a consequence. Man is so arrogant, a stupid animal.
What do you, so you mean that they have different needles depending on who comes into the booth? I don't think that's the case, unless you mean that every needle has both male and female stuff in it, but no, that's kind of wild. So now it's like vaccines make you autistic, vaccines make you trans. If I just compiled all the conspiracies, it would be like the vaccine would achieve everything in the universe, like every conceivable possible thing that could happen has happened if you just compile all these conspiracies. Disclaimer, I'm not supporting conspiracies, don't strike my video, thank you. SOS isn't English though, it's Morse code, which is its own international language.
SOS stands for Save Our Ship. Those are all English words. The odds factory workers in non-English speaking would know that they're slim to none. In all likelihood, they would have wrote help in the native language.
Trivia/explanation, SOS doesn't stand for anything. It is a distress signal because the letters are really easy to send and recognize. 3 shorts, 3 long, 3 short. And has been in use for so long and over so much of the world that it's not only broken off the original language, but of Morse code itself. For the trivia part, SOS originated from Germany as part of the government's maritime radio regulations. So even if it was supposed to mean something, it would probably be in German rather than English, especially as this was in 1905.
Mayday, mayday, we are sinking, we are sinking.
Hello, this is the German Coast Guard. What are you thinking about? I love that. It's like an old ad for language lessons from like 20 years ago. It's so good.
Evolutionists are hilarious. Humans didn't exist 100,000 years ago. Evolutionists have vivid imagination and are illogical to the extreme. Fact, there's only ever been one species of human. Only full humans can be interbreed.
But we literally have like skeletons and like DNA traces of other human. What?
Humans have never evolved from any creature. We are not currently evolving into anything else and never will. We have remained as we first appeared. Evolutionists deny and directly contradict biology, i.e. genetics and zoology, along with the fossil record, and critically deny and contradict with evolutionists. Their lack of logic? Look up the world population graph. Evolutionists seriously want us to believe that the world's population remained negligible for hundreds of thousands of years until recently. The only feeble explanation they can offer is there were more cataclysmic near-extinction events during those thousands of years. Funnily enough, it only occurred 200 years to go from 1 billion to 7.8 billion people.
Wait a second, so evolution isn't real because human population grew quickly. That's the logic. If you actually want to read into this seriously and not take like weird Quora posts from people who obviously don't understand much at all, I would read the book called Sapiens. It actually goes into detail about this quite nicely. Like in the beginning, humans were foragers. And the trick with foragers is that you can't have a too large tribe because you move around a lot and you depend on whatever resources are available where you decide to stay at the moment. So, your area that you have within reach wherever you decide to stay can only support so many people. So you won't really have any explosive population growth. That didn't happen until humans settled down and actually started doing agriculture stuff. which also was kind of a trap, because what essentially happened is that the population grew because you could produce more food, but then there was also much more disease and that kind of stuff. You know, the conditions weren't really meant for, you know, human biology as we worked in the wild, so humans were on average much more miserable, but you couldn't really get back out of it because, you know, the population was too large, so you had to still continue with the agriculture stuff and basically to feed the population so you wouldn't starve. And then, of course, gradually humanity evolved, we got better and better technology, and, you know, over thousands of years, and then as you know, the Industrial Revolution happened, and then lots of stuff got more, not automated might not be the right word, but we got more powerful tools that could produce more food, the cities evolved, we got better housing, etc., and then the population exploded because everything that was a prerequisite for producing a lot of babies was basically met. So there is very logical explanations for this. I'm not sure what this Quora post is on about, but at least it makes for a nice video thing, and I can rant about a book I read and seem smart. Serious? What's the point of males having kinks and fantasies, but females being coy and choosy?
Wait, do you honestly believe women don't have kinks or fantasies?
No, they don't. It doesn't matter how much you pretend to do, but you don't. It is in women's nature to be housewives in the service of their husbands.
Ah, yes, indeed, my kink of housewifing.
When a woman likes a man, she only fantasizes about wedding dress and rings. The kink of doing dishes and wedding dresses. Oh, yes, indeed. Punish me, daddy. Women can't understand what naughties and lust means. Tell me that you've never ever met a woman without telling me you never ever met a woman. They never want to be with a man just for one night or to be in a relationship with someone solely for the hotness of naughties. For them, naughty is just something they give to their husbands so they don't want to leave them. They use naughties as a kind of property to force men into marriage. That's what naughties means to most of you. Wow, you really speak for them, don't you? Obviously don't know much about the opposite alien sex, but also you're just speaking for them. I think you'd be pretty frustrated if someone spoke like that about you. It's like, oh, you guys, I obviously know better what you're thinking than you are. You know, this would basically be the definition of mansplaining, I think. I don't think anyone likes it when someone tries to explain to you that they know you better than you do yourself. It's weird. The quantum. Why are some people seeing demonic entities after the vaccine? The self-assembling technology parasites happening slowly in the bodies of the vaccinated. I show video of it. I also show what happens to an elderly woman that suffered demonic entities attacking her for 2 straight days after the COVID vaccine, but she survived. Her husband did not.
That sounds cool as shit, though. What?
Dear Catholic parents, please be responsible enough to teach your children what real essence of Halloween is. To all Catholic parents, your sons and daughters are children of God. They are not the devil, little demon, or monster. Stop dressing your kids like they're children of Satan. Halloween is about saints and the holiness and not about the devil, the ugliness, and darkness.
Gee, I want to make the joke that, you know, oh, Halloween is Satan's birthday. But last time I got so many comments being upset about it and obviously like whooshing the jokes, like, oh, don't you know anything? Oh, Satan's birthday is actually... It's, you know, jokes and stuff are hard.
The miracle of life? How many pregnancies have you risked your life for? You don't have a uterus. You have no idea what pregnancy does to us, and you want to force us to do it? You're sick.
Pregnancy does absolutely nothing to women. It's a beautiful experience. A lot of us don't regret to perpetuate civilization.
Yeah, it's easy to speak for someone else when you don't have to do it yourself, isn't it? Oh, gee, how convenient. Every socialist country does, lol.
Have you not been to Sweden? 58% income tax, not a wealthy socialist country.
Oh, lol, yeah, that socialist hellhole is known as Sweden, which is listed as the 24th strongest economy in the world and constantly tops the list of our highest living standards. Truly not wealthy in any sense.
Talk to a Swede.
Jag är bokstavligen svensk, född, uppvuxen och bott här hela mitt liv. Din internetpajas, XD. Which is, by the way, how I know your 58% figure is heavily misleading since the median salary is not taxed nearly that high. Oh my god, I can actually speak about Swedish stuff. Yes! I see this a surprising amount on the internet. And on both sides, I see people calling like, oh, Sweden is like a socialist hellhole, darn communists. And then I see like, oh, Sweden is socialist utopia, and also other stuff that comes with it. I mean, I suppose Sweden operates on like a free capitalist market like any country, really, but I suppose the difference between, I'm assuming this is an American discussion, is that we have a very strong public sector. So we have, for example, free education, which is very nice.
Wait, are you Jewish?
Yes.
But aren't you supposed to be circumcised?
I am circumcised.
No, you're not cut.
I am like totally baffled as to how you could think I have a foreskin.
Huh? Oh, sorry, I googled it. I thought circumcision was when they cut off the whole thing.
Okay, in their defense, they did actually Google it themselves when they got some pushback. I'll give them half credit for that. That's good. That's good. Adidas drops Kanye West days after he said, "Adidas can't drop me for anti-Semitic comments." All right.
The most obvious sign that this is domestic Russian propaganda is that it is in Russian and not in English. Propaganda they make intended for Western audience is in English.
But it is in English.
Then it's probably intended for Western audiences. I played it with the sound off. I'm at work.
But okay, you claim the whole conspiracy regarding the spoken language in a piece of media, and you didn't even check what language it was. Come on now. If you're masked outdoors in public place, I would appreciate it if you didn't approach me. I find masked people intimidating. To me, wearing a mask in public means you are a sick person and hazard to my health. You need to respect me and socially distance yourself. I mean, I think a mask shows that people are responsible most of the time, but I can see where you're coming from. It makes sense. And also, being uncomfortable, generally being too close to strangers is just like a general thing, I suppose.
I wear a mask in shops to protect me against you, who I imagine is fully vaxxed. I wear it so I don't get exposed to your shedding spike protein and graphene, and you think it's misinformation, then that shows how little you know. Even Pfizer states that shedding is real.
Oh wait, you're actually wearing a mask. You went anti-vax, anti-mask, and went so far you went all the way around back to wearing a mask, but for like the completely wrong reasons. That is amazing.
It doesn't matter what you identify as. If you have an XY chromosome, you're a woman.
Everyone is trans after all. Hey y'all, not allowed to put a welcome at my front door.
It irks me when I see someone spell it y'all. It's so common that many consider it to be a correct spelling, but it should be y'all. It follows all the rules of other contractions.
Yeah, but it means something different though. Like y'all is you all. It's like, yeah. And y'all would be you will. You know, that's usually, it's two different meanings, at least if I
Interpret it correctly as a far away as Svid. Yes, indeed.
Does anyone else have experience with urine produced while suffering from COVID? I find that it is the darkest variety and possibly fortified with antibodies. Cured my COVID, no vaccines or hospitals required.
Your immune system cured it, not your waste.
On the contrary, urine is not waste, it's a pure form of your blood. Where did you learn that it was waste?
Where did you learn that it's just pure blood, whatever that means? If stories of #King #Arthur and his knights are based on real people, their DNA markers should still be with us today. Does new DNA blah 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 has the King Arthur gene been traced?
The purpose of the Human Genome Project was to find the Christ gene. Then they created COVID to target and eradicate those carrying the DNA of Christ.
I based this off of nothing. Woo! Well, laddies, lasses, and lassos, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I hope you learned something and was entertained. Have an amazing rest of your day because you do deserve it. I will see you in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.